Wait, what school is this?
Why aren't we? I need to see us so I can put
Wait, are
us
we
on
doing
the
salt
train.
pork first?
Wait,
Spotlight.
we don't all fit.
Yeah, it's gonna need to move.
I'm in the middle.
Alyssa's got a scoochie.
Stan, you gotta come over some.
Me drinking my tea.
Whoa!
Cat-like reflexes.
You know, cats don't have all those. Not all cats have fast reflexes. Like one time, my cat was just like slowly falling off the bed, and she just like didn't stop.
I knew this was gonna be a story time. When you started saying that cats don't have
When she
good.
started
Is
speaking,
it name GRF or GRF in name?
Named Giraffe.
Okay.
what's the code?
God.
21259.
Yeah, Captain, what's the code?
I thought you might
Maybe
have
someone
for a
else can
second.
be captain.
Sure.
We can have a lot of captains.
Lily's captain today.
Oh, I don't want to be captain.
Gosh dang it.
I don't like doing all the business.
Business.
Just like in here.
I don't like doing all the business.
I like, clicking or like speaking to my team.
You just said business.
Chris is built different.
Salt fork.
Are we doing a dash? No.
Chris is built different.
Hey, GRF, I can only see like the middle three kids.
That's not true. We're all in frame.
You're actually muted, so
You're muted.
We're all in frame.
stand means I'm muted.
We're all in frame,
I
Mr.
couldn't
Tate.
see you sitting in front of the screen from my.
Really the tile, I'm gonna change this layout.
Yeah, it's probably your layout.
They have to
Melissa.
scoot up.
Remember when Matthew's completely
They have a bunch of parents who join and watch.
No.
No.
You said, oh, no, you said.
Ah,
Oh, very enough, Matthew.
I didn't know he was reading again today.
Oh, it was an accident.
Whenever I try to swipe it up,
It buzzed.
One time I
again.
did that and like got to let go of it to do it, so I'll hold it and like and wait till someone else buzzes in.
they got pissed.
I just liked how the guy that said his name was Frank, there's no space, so it's just
Yeah,
Frank's.
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 Can we call him that? He buzzes in. Frank's.
We get that lady that goes, Stanley! Whatever somebody goes in, and she goes, Frank's!
She did yell though. I thought you could hear
Our goal.
Sophomore, are you ready?
Pepper spoon.
Alright, we're set to start, you ready?
Oh, are you ready? Yeah?
I assume you ready, alright.
Okay. I wasn't really ready, but.
Alright, so here we go. Concept number one is miscellaneous. During a 1972 playoff game, this team's Franco Harris scored on a deflected pass in the Immaculate Reception play. Since 1969, this NFL team has had only 3 head coaches, and like the Patriots, it has won a record 6 Super Bowls. From 2013,
Frank's.
The Steelers?
that is correct.
Oh.
Thanks. The Patriots have 7.
Alright, your bonus is in science. A rare variety of this precious stone found in Colombia features a 6-spoke trapeze pattern for 10 points each. Part A, name this green colored gemstone.
Yeah.
Emerald.
Emerald?
That is correct.
What do you say those wrong?
Emerald.
Part B, emerald is a variety of this mineral whose other varieties include the blue hued aquamarine.
No, it's not quartz.
I have no idea. Anybody?
3 seconds.
What kind of
It's
mineral?
topaz?
No, it's not topaz. It's
Incorrect. Georgetown.
To start with.
Quartz.
Incorrect. It is beryl.
Barrel.
Oh.
Barrel?
Part C,
What is that?
emeralds have the vitreous form of this mineral property, which describes how light reflects off of a mineral surface.
I used to be a rock kid, I should know.
She's a what? She's a rock kid.
Refraction.
Incorrect.
You don't have any idea?
Georgetown.
Reflection. Reflection.
Incorrect. It is luster.
Oh.
Luster.
Right.
Dude, I literally used to like love her.
Toss-up 2 is in
I
math.
was that kid.
This system can be extended into 3 dimensions in 2 ways, cylindrical and spherical. In this system, each point can be specified uniquely if the first coordinate is required to be non-negative, and the second coordinate runs from 0 to 2 pi radians or 360 degrees. For 10 points, name this coordinate system in which each point is specified using a distance and an angle, typically symbolized R and theta.
Joseph. A circle.
Incorrect. That is time. It is polar coordinates.
Oh, I didn't know that. I was gonna say the unit circle.
Concept 3 is in fine arts. This artist depicted a woman in a gold dress standing atop a white horse in the circus. 2 people stand waist deep in a Paris river, and this artist bathers at Anier. The scene also appears on the left side of a scene by this man, which features well-dressed women holding umbrellas and a monkey on a leash. For 10 points, name this pointillist artist of a Sunday.
Georges Seurat.
Correct.
I think they were asking for the name was for the
Your bonus is in history. For 10 points each, answer the following about British Prime Minister Lord Salisbury. Part A. Almost all of Salisbury's tenure as Prime Minister occurred during this Queen's 63-year reign.
Elizabeth the First.
Just say Elizabeth and then.
What was that?
Queen Mary.
Incorrect. Georgetown.
Elizabeth, go.
Elizabeth.
Incorrect. It's Queen Victoria.
I was gonna say, if it's not Elizabeth, it's Victoria.
There's like only 3 names
Part B.
Literally didn't get you.
In 1899, Salisbury led Britain into this war, which ended when Britain took control of the Orange Free State in the Transvaal.
The Boer War.
That is correct.
Pass my knowledge.
Yeah.
Are they at 40?
Yep.
You have a war guess?
Part C. Salisbury was succeeded as Prime Minister by this man, his nephew. This man is better known for declaring support for a Jewish homeland in the Middle East during his time as Foreign Secretary.
Hmm.
3 seconds. Francis.
Incorrect. Georgetown.
War guess.
George.
It is Balfour, Arthur Balfour.
Yeah.
Toss-up 4 is in science. The most efficient method of transferring between these entities involves 2 impulses and is named for Walter Hohmann. As a consequence of conservation of angular momentum, the position vector along these entities sweeps out equal areas in equal time. As described in Kepler's second law, Satellites often use geosynchronous examples of, for 10 points, what trajectories of objects moving around a planet or star?
Stanley.
Orbit.
That is correct.
It's all done.
Did you say gang gang?
Your
I did.
bonus is in literature. For 10 points each, answer the following about the epilogues to the poem The Hollow Men. Part A. One of its epilogues reads, "A penny for the old guy," in reference to this would-be revolutionary who is commemorated on November 5th in Britain.
Oh, Guy Fawkes.
That is correct.
Oh.
How did you know?
Remember the 5th of November, the
Part B.
pigs in the pot.
The other epilogue reads, "Miss the Curse, He Dead," in reference to a character in this 1899 novella by Joseph Conrad.
Joseph Conrad. Oh. 1899.
30 seconds.
Just get something that's like famous.
Alright, sophomore.
God, the box controlled something.
No answer.
It's one about South Africa.
It is Heart of
Heart of
Darkness.
Darkness. They travel down the
And part C, The Hollow Men is a poem by this author who described April as the cruelest month in the wasteland.
Oh, man. I have no clue.
No idea.
3 seconds.
Yes.
No answer.
Sophomore.
Frogs. Frogs.
Incorrect is T.S. Eliot.
Oh.
We haven't made it that far.
Concept 5 is
It's
in
my
social science.
quiz that I look at.
This river flows through giant limestone cliffs at the gates of the mountains. This river formed from the confluence of the Jefferson, Madison, and Gallatin rivers near Three Forks. The Lewis and Clark expedition was primarily tasked with exploring this river's watershed and sailed past the modern locations of Omaha.
Stanley.
The Ohio River?
Incorrect.
Mississippi.
It's the Mississippi.
And sailed past the modern locations of Omaha and Kansas
Well, I
City.
couldn't
For
remember.
10 points each, or for 10 points, what North American river joins with Mississippi near St. Louis?
Oh, well, that makes me feel better.
Stanley. The Missouri River.
That is correct.
Ah.
Ah! We're all wrong.
Your bonus is in math.
Who was that?
Naomi, that's
The
my-
normal distribution has a value of 3 for this measure of the heaviness of the tail of a probability distribution. So subtracting 3 from it gives its excess value. For 10 points each, part A, identify this quantity named from the Greek for bulgy.
What?
Standard deviation.
Beta.
Incorrect. George Jones.
Say it.
Say it.
Standard deviation.
Is incorrect. It is kurtosis.
You were close.
Part B,
Text me short.
a high kurtosis can indicate a large number of these data points, which are far from the range of most data.
Wait, is it us?
No.
No. I was
But
like,
if they don't get it, that's it.
3 seconds.
It's funny that they don't know it.
It's time. Georgetown.
Outliers.
That is correct.
Heck yeah, boys.
Part C, this distribution named for a Frenchman has a positive excess kurtosis and represents the probability of a given number of events occurring in a given time.
Distribution for freshmen.
Statistics.
Incorrect. Georgetown.
1-to-1.
Euler.
No. It is Hassan.
Duh. That's my next guess.
Mm-hmm.
Concept 6 is in history. This monarch built a 30-meter statue of himself and his golden house, or Domus Aurea, at the Villa of Bayonne. This ruler lamented, "What an artist dies in me." According to some historians, this emperor kicked his wife, Poppaea, to death.
Oh.
This monarch's death started a civil war that brought Galba to power after the end of the Julio-Claudian dynasty. For 10 points, name this Roman emperor during the Great Fire of Rome.
Double check.
Lucius.
Emperor Nero.
That is correct.
Robert De
Poor
Niro.
no.
Your bonus is in fine arts.
Y'all better not.
This
do
painting may have been inspired by Peter Paul Rubens' painting of the same name that is also housed in the Prado. For 10 points each, part A. Name this painting that portrays a wide-eyed, bearded titan with a bloody left arm of a headless child in his mouth.
It's with Cronus, isn't it?
Brutality.
I have no clue. I've never.
Incorrect. First down.
Chronos.
Do it.
Chronos.
Incorrect. It is Saturn devouring his son.
Oh.
That's not any weirder.
Part B. Saturn devouring his son is one of 14 paintings that comprise this series, painted onto the walls of the artist's house. Fight with cudgels is also a part of this set.
Oh.
It's kind of you.
3 seconds.
Titanic Walking.
Okay.
Incorrect. First down.
The Black Series.
Incorrect. It is the Black Paintings.
That was so close.
Boo!
There's actually a conspiracy that no.
Part C.
I'll tell you
The
later.
Black Paintings are by this Spanish artist of the 3rd of May, 1808.
Frida Kahlo.
No,
Incorrect. First down.
it might be Picasso, or it's just another dude who's gonna.
I'm muted.
What?
Oh wait, what? I think you have to be muted. Picasso.
No, it's incorrect.
Gregorio.
I'm sorry, who was it?
Goya.
Goya.
David.
It's like the Mexican spice.
Toss-up 7 is in math.
I know what you're talking about.
In 2011, this computer engineer and Dirk Hondel developed a subsurface
Stop.
Don't even read.
developed a subsurface software system for planning scuba dives. In 2005, this programmer lost unpaid access to the version control system BitKeeper, leading him to create a replacement named Git. A project that this Finnish developer began in 1991 is a central component of the GNU operating system. For 10 points, name this principal developer behind the Linux kernel.
Oh, what's his name?
Christopher.
Linus?
Prompt.
That's where I love Lucid.
No answer.
No answer. What's his last name?
Alright, that is tied. It is Linus Torvalds. So Torvalds is what you need.
I couldn't remember his last
Good
name.
job, though.
Toss-up 8.
Are people typing in the chat?
Let's see.
Who put something in the chat?
Right, toss-up 8 is in
It's
literature.
not us.
One of its author's characters flees a wedding after he sees his reflection in a wine glass. In that story by this author, which is set in the town of Milford, Elizabeth breaks off her engagement with Mr. Hooper when he refuses to remove the title object. The minister's black veil appears along with Dr. Heidegger's experiment in a twice-told tales, a collection by, for 10 points, what author of The Scarlet Letter?
Stanley.
Nathaniel Hawthorne.
That is correct.
I was about to buzz in, but my screen froze.
Your bonus is in math. Pencil and paper ready.
I love these.
for 10 points each, answer these questions about a cube whose edges each have a length of 4. Part A. What is the surface area of the cube?
The surface
I
area
don't
of the
remember how to
cube.
do surface area.
So it's 4 times 4 times 6.
1696.
Did you say something?
96.
That is correct.
Hey.
Did all that math right there.
I didn't write anything
Part
down.
B. How many smaller cubes that each have an edge length of 1/2 could fit inside of the cube?
Edge length of 1/2. Wait, so it's 4 times 4 times 4 times just 2.
64?
Sophomore,
Oh no.
I think it's 64.
incorrect. It is 512.
Oh,
Q.
Great.
love that.
Part C. If the original cube were truncated by having each of its vertices cut off to create a small triangular face, how many faces would the new shape have?
What?
You would have an extra 4, so 10.
10.
Incorrect. Sophomore,
5 then.
36.
incorrect. It is 14.
Never mind. I don't know how to do that.
House of 9 is in history.
Oh, it's 4 on top.
In 2018, this politician's former chief of staff was pardoned for his role in revealing that Joseph Wilson's wife was a CIA agent. This man's daughter holds an at-large seat in Congress that this man held in the 1980s in Wyoming. This man led Halliburton after he served as Secretary of Defense during the Gulf War. The invasion of Iraq was advocated by for 10 points. What vice president under George W. Bush?
Stanley.
Dick Cheney?
That is correct.
I was gonna say Al Gore, but like, wait, that's cool.
I only know that.
That's
I only know that because of War Dogs, where he
Alright,
says,
voting
"God
is
bless Dick
social
Cheney's
science.
America."
As a youth, this character was taken into hiding by King Strophius of Phocis and befriended the king's son Hylotes for 10 points each. Part A. Name this Greek whose sister Electra convinced him to avenge the murder of their father.
Electra, father.
Dead.
Telemachus.
3 seconds.
Who?
It's not right.
Oedipus.
Incorrect. Sophomore. Alright, that's time. Orestes.
Orestes.
Orestes and Electra's father, Agamemnon, was murdered by their mother, Clytemnestra, and the son of Thyestes, who Clytemnestra had taken as a lover.
Wait, what's the question?
The son of
What was the question?
Oh, she can't tell you that. That's your answer. Congrats.
We couldn't hear it.
Mhm.
I never heard a thing that said which was what.
Sophomore.
Oedipus Rex.
Incorrect. It is Aegisthus. Part C. After Orestes' successful revenge, he was driven mad and pursued by these 3 goddesses of vengeance, whose names were Alecto, Megara, and Tisiphone.
The Fates?
Sure.
The Fates?
Incorrect.
It's asking for the dude who
Over.
got chased by these guys.
Furies.
That is correct.
Furies, right.
Oh.
So I was asking who the 3 people chasing were.
House of 10 is in fine arts. This composer include Blueberry Slope in a song cycle about a mountain made based on the poetry of Arna Gabor. He celebrated his 25th wedding anniversary in one of his 66 lyric pieces titled Wedding Day at Trollhaugen. This man used a descending and ascending pentatonic scale for flute to open his piece Morning Mood. The incidental music for Peer Gynt was written by, for 10 points, what Norwegian composer?
Joseph.
Vivaldi.
Incorrect. And that is Todd. It is Edvard Grieg.
Grieg.
Toss up 11 is in social sciences. The Augustus of Prima Porta includes a common depiction of this god riding a dolphin. This god falls in love with a character who is tasked with sorting piles of grades and traveling to the underworld in a story told in the Golden Pass. In an older tale, this god strikes Daphne with a lead-tipped object and Apollo with a gold-tipped object. Becky?
Joseph.
Arrows.
Correct. Also, it could have said me Cupid or a whore. Your bonus is in science.
I couldn't remember the word for
For
Cupid.
10 points each, answer these questions about German chemist Otto Hahn. Part A. Hahn won a Nobel Prize for discovering what type of chemical reaction in which a nucleus splits into two lighter nuclei.
Fission.
Vision.
That is correct.
Good job.
Part B. Hahn discovered a phenomenon in which nuclei with the same numbers of protons and neutrons can differ in what quantity, the time needed for 50% of them to react.
Isotopes?
My guess
Three hundred
is
electrons.
neutrons.
Incorrect. Georgetown.
Different amounts of electrons and neutrons.
Neutrons?
Incorrect. It is half-life.
Oh, I said 50. I just realized.
Part C. Hahn helped develop a radiometric dating technique using the decay of what alkali metals isotope 87 to form strontium 87.
Carbon dating.
Carbon.
Incorrect. Georgetown.
Oh, shoot.
Alkali metal. Lead?
Lead.
Incorrect. It is rubidium.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. I thought it was carbon.
And toss-up 12 is in science. Tris buffer, magnesium chloride, and DNTPs are parts of a master mix used in this technique. A primer-dimer may form if this technique is unsuccessful. In this technique, rounds of denaturation, elongation, and annealing are carried out in a thermocycler. As temperature is varied, Carrie Mullis won the 1993 Nobel Prize in Chemistry for inventing, for 10 points, what laboratory technique used to amplify a sequence of DNA.
Stanley.
CRISPR?
Is incorrect.
Jackson. Splicing.
Incorrect. It is a polymerase chain reaction, or PCR. And that is that.
Southwark with a score of 90 and Georgetown with 60.
Ryan,
That's Pete. Needs potty break.
Stretch your legs.
I mean, shoot, say less.
Rome is before my
Can I
knowledge.
start dancing?
That's why and
Aye.
Roman Greek, ancient Rome and ancient Greece is like before what I want about now. Made it in something.
I knew the newer question. I buzzed in like the second he did. So
If it was in the Bible. I don't know anything about religion.
well, it wasn't really a religious thing. It was just like
It's also in the Bible.
yeah. Well,
I don't
Nero was burning down Rome and blamed it on the Christians in order to try to get all the Christians lynched. Like just to turn the people against the Christians or whatever. So he burned down half of Rome, and I remembered that.
I know who controlled Jerusalem. The Fatimid Sultanate. The Fatimid Sultanate was like, no wait,
He said, I know.
Yusuf did it.
When?
Oh.
Since there are a lot.
During the First Crusade,
Okay,
1096. It was Fatimid or Yusuf.
there's Happy.
Can you hear that? Oh my god, what demon in my throat? Oh wait. I just like when he goes. It's like, hey, welcome.
Hello.
So I have a genuine question. Did you like steal that hoodie from someone, or did you actually purchase it, or?
I found it in the lost and found somewhere. They had it on the table. They're like, hey, everybody, just take this. So I was like, oh,
He
take
said,
that.
we're gonna wait till that, so the numbing this and then you waited about 2.5.
What did he do?
A little bar in my arm.
Oh, for the birth controls? Things the bomb.com.
The controlling of the births.
My wife had one.
We substituted Addie Jack out and Sebastian and Isaac.
Yeah, who's Naomi? Like which one?
The one in the front.
Oh,
One of front.
Okay,
oh, are we ready?
George Sanders, are you ready?
Should we so?
We're in.
Okay. Paul, are you ready?
Yep.
Alright.
Is she?
Alright. Toss up 13 is in math.
Aye.
A parallelogram whose smaller angles have this measure is sometimes called a lozenge. This angle is its own complement. This is the only angle.
90.
That is incorrect.
Probably.
This is the only angle whose sine and cosine are both positive and equal. Both values are √2/2. If a right triangle is isosceles, both acute angles have this measure. For 10 points, give this measure of an angle that is half of a right angle.
That's cute.
Naomi. 45.
That is correct.
I just gave you that.
Why do you just need to wait?
That's also way too long, Adrian.
Stop it.
Your bonus is in history. During the so-called Babylonian captivity, popes resided in this city. For 10 points each, part A. Name the city in what is now France, which became the seat of the papacy when Clement V moved from Rome in 1309.
Frankia? I don't know.
Frankia? Do it.
West Frankia?
Vici?
Incorrect. Georgetown.
West Frankia?
Incorrect. It's Avignon.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, my cousin's on here.
Part B. Clement V moved to Avignon under pressure from this French king. Clement helped this king purge the Knights Templar.
Richard.
I like the basketball.
Richard's not that.
John.
Incorrect. Georgetown.
Richard.
Incorrect. It is Philip IV.
Oh.
Never mind.
Specific.
Oh, here's
And part
we
C.
call him the spider.
The last pope to reside in Avignon used this papal name. A later pope with this name created a calendar system that replaced the Julian calendar.
Gregory.
Gregorian.
Gregorian.
Yeah, but that's not his name.
Prompt.
The second.
Incorrect. Georgetown.
Gregory.
Gregory.
They're asking for his name, not the calendar.
That's just facts.
Great.
All right. Toss-up 14 is in history.
Y'all forgot.
This man proposed a fourth moral branch of government at the Congress of Angostura. Jose Felix Ribas served as this general's rear guard during his admirable campaign. This general won the 1819 Battle of Boyaca in a victory for New Granada over royalists. Antonio Jose de Sucre was the second in command of this general, who was the first president of Grand Colombia. For 10 points, name this liberator of South America.
I think.
Incorrect. It's time. This Simon Bolivar.
Okay, yeah.
Oh.
That wasn't even coming across my head at all.
I was gonna say John Wayne.
Toss-up 15 is in science. One form of this material property is equal to shear stress divided by shear rate. A rheometer is used to measure this quantity for materials for which it is not constant. Such materials are said to be non-Newtonian. This quantity is zero in a superfluid and is very large for asphalt and for molasses. For 10 points,
Naomi. Viscosity.
that is correct.
That's the second.
Your bonus is in fine arts. This character sings Nurena Vafa Tog, Nurena Vafa Tog, before touching the wound and Amforta's side with the Holy Spirit. For 10 points each, part A. Name this title character of an 1882 opera that ends with him ordering the Holy Grail to be uncovered.
Arthur.
Incorrect. Georgetown.
Indiana Jones.
Incorrect. It is Parsifal.
You could have went with Monty Python, and you did.
Part B. This German composer of the Reading Cycle wrote Parsifal.
What was it?
This composer. I don't know the composers.
3 seconds.
I thought it was the Holy Grail, not the Ark.
What'd you say? Incorrect. Georgetown.
I don't know.
All right. And this time is Wagner.
Wagner?
Part C. Until 1903, Parsifal was forbidden from being performed anywhere but in the Festspielhaus of this Bavarian city, which hosts an annual festival for performances of Wagner's operas.
Bavarian city. I don't know any Bavarian cities.
3 seconds. Berlin.
Incorrect. Georgetown.
Nope.
It is Bayreuth. Concept 16 is in literature. In 2015, this author was reburied after his remains were identified at the convent of the Barefoot Trinitarians, the same order that ransomed this man from captivity. In his poem Journey to Parnassus, he mentioned that his left hand was maimed at the naval battle of Lepanto. A library is purged of chivalric literature in this author's novel about a delusional knight. For 10 points, what Spanish author wrote?
Miguel de Cervantes.
That is correct.
What if you were wrong? And then that would be so funny.
I've read
Your
the book.
bonus is in science.
We all have that one answer.
Lanolin is the greasy secretion that keeps this material naturally waterproof. For 10 points each, part A. Name this fluffy fur grown by livestock animals like sheep and goats.
Wool.
That is correct. Part B. Despite its name, Angora wool is harvested not from sheep or goats, but from these small mammals in the order Lagomorpha.
Rabbits.
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 That is correct.
Lagomorphs.
And part C, like cattle, sheep and goats are this type of herbivore which digests via a multi-chambered stomach with frequent regurgitation for additional chewing.
Gross animals?
Like, oh, like,
I didn't know there was different types of herbivores.
I knew that.
3 seconds.
yeah.
A regurgivore.
Incorrect. Saltport. Incorrect. It is ruminant.
Oh.
Rudiment?
Yeah.
Regurgitor.
Concept 17 is in fine arts. Sculptor Antonio Canova depicted Pauline Bonaparte as this character in a statue that shows her nude, reclining on a couch and holding an apple. This speaker wonders where Praxiteles saw her naked in numerous fragmented poems from antiquity responding to a statue of her in Knidos. Another statue of this deity was unearthed on the island of Milos. For 10 points, name this goddess depicted in a statue missing its arms.
Naomi. Hermes.
No.
Incorrect.
Christopher.
Venus?
That is correct.
Thank goodness. I couldn't remember it.
I could.
I was trying to think of her big
Venus.
name.
Your bonus is in literature.
Milo, Venus de Milo.
Christopher Durang's one-act play For Whom the Southern Bell Tolls lampoons this play. For 10 points each, part A. Name this play in which faded Southern Belle Amanda Wingfield encourages her daughter to entertain the gentleman caller Jim.
Jim.
I don't even know. Sweet Home
3
Alabama.
seconds.
My Fair Lady.
Incorrect. Saltport. It's time. It is the Glass Menagerie.
Oh,
Go.
Tennessee Williams. That's going to be the next answer.
Both the Glass Menagerie and For Whom the Southern Bell Tolls feature aloof, moving, loving older brothers with this name.
Oh.
Mhm. That's going to be the next answer.
Stuart.
Stewart.
Incorrect. Saltport.
Stuart Little.
John.
Incorrect. It's Tom.
Oh.
It would be really.
And part C, the Glass Menagerie is by this playwright who depicted another faded Southern belle, Blanche Dubois, in a streetcar named Desire.
Tennessee Williams.
That is correct.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have taken the lead.
Wait,
Concept
I need to
18 is in social sciences.
Not enough, get more.
This man is seen as the greatest prophet in Mandeanism. This man quoted the book of Isaiah to say that he was sent to make straight paths for him. The man's father,
John the Baptist.
that is correct.
Hey.
Your bonus in math
Bibled.
for 10 points each. Answer these questions about the function f of x equals 2 times the cosine of 2x.
What?
Part A. What is the absolute maximum value of f of x equals 2 times the cosine of 2x?
Two.
That is correct. Part B. Since f is a composite function, it can be differentiated using what rule from calculus?
This is where I don't answer anymore.
Differentiated.
A
I'm
rule.
in a stats class. I don't know.
No answer.
Call for
She didn't teach us this.
deviation.
incorrect. It is chain rule.
If anyone, we're disappointing Taylor.
Part C. For every value of x, f of x always equals f of negative x, meaning f is, just like the cosine function itself, what type of function?
Inverse.
Inverse.
Incorrect.
That
Call
didn't
for
sound right to me. Absolute, maybe?
Linear?
Incorrect. It is an even function.
I need a timeout.
Okay.
Did he say heathen?
I think he said.
I just said 2 as a joke.
Yeah. I was
Hey, he was right, and that's all that matters.
That's why you always. Score check?
Yeah, leprosy, 140, 110. We are good. I have.
You know you can
I
look
was
at it on here, right?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Keep track, so.
They've done it like
And
most of the
not
time.
all of them always get it, but I just write it down.
I just said 2 because it was in the equation.
Yeah, yeah.
You want in here, Abby?
That sounds right.
You want in here?
Don't care.
It's up to you.
I'm good.
Okay.
We have
We
one
will
more
make
that.
substitution. Isaac has left and Brianna has come.
All right.
And they're ready to go.
Ready to go? All right. House of 19 is in literature. This author wrote, "Saints should always be judged guilty until they are proved innocent." In his essay, Reflections on Gandhi, he described a time when he was hated by large numbers of people in an essay about police work in Burma titled "Shooting an Elephant." Julia has an affair with a mini-true employee in this author's novel about the totalitarian rule of Big Brother. For 10 points,
Stanley.
Orwell. George Orwell.
that is correct.
Thank you.
George Orwell's 1984.
Okay, man.
You're high for today.
Your bonus is fine arts.
Okay.
Thanks.
Joel Augustus Rogers helped popularize the theory that this composer was black. For 10 points each, part A. Name this German composer whose Ninth Symphony incorporates the poem Ode to Joy.
This is not a buzzer.
That is the bonus.
Wait, who did the Hallelujah chorus?
Beethoven.
That is correct.
Oh.
We were
I thought it was.
Ode to Joy.
Okay.
Part B. Beethoven originally dedicated his Kreuzer's Sonata for this instrument to George Bridgetower, a black player of this instrument.
Violin.
I was gonna guess violin. Violin?
That is correct.
Hey!
In part C, Beethoven was once called a Moor by Anton, a prince from this Hungarian noble family that patronized Joseph Haydn.
It's asking for a family.
Oh,
Yeah.
Marion royal family.
Romanov. Romanov. No idea.
Incorrect. Ballpark.
He gets his own workouts in, Nicholas. He really
No
does.
answer.
It is Esterhazy.
Yeah.
It is
Toss up
unpronounceable.
20 is in science. On a scat chart plot, this quantity is equal to the negative reciprocal of the slope. The Van Hoff equation calculates the change in this quantity as a function of temperature. The natural logarithm of this constant is proportional to the standard electrode potential of an electrochemical cell. The law of mass action can be used to derive, for 10 points, what chemistry constant that is abbreviated KEQ.
Joseph.
Energy?
Incorrect.
That's what I was gonna guess. So,
That is time, is the equilibrium constant.
I've never even heard of that.
I don't know chemistry.
Toss-up 21 is in math. According to a 1995 slogan, the Java language allows a programmer to write once but perform this action anywhere. Compile time errors are contrasted with errors named after this process. Big O notation characterizes the time required for an algorithm to complete this process. A crash is an unexpected or unwanted end to, for 10 points, what process of executing an application or other computer program?
Family.
Launching?
Incorrect.
My guess was script. I don't know.
It's a function, isn't it?
Family. Download.
Incorrect. It is run, or running.
I think of gone either way.
Launches the
Java can run anyway. That's
Toss-up 22 is in history.
Okay, please be something.
This man fired several senior military officials after German teenager Matthias Russ managed to land a plane in his capital. The hardline Gang of Eight attempted to topple this leader in the August coup. In 1991, this leader accepted the dissolution of his country, which he had attempted to open and restructure through reforms called Glasnost.
Frank.
Gorbachev?
That is correct.
that's what I was thinking, but I didn't.
Your bonus is in science. Since dielectrics do not allow current to flow, they are examples of these materials for 10 points each. Part A, name these materials that are poor conductors of electricity.
Insulators.
Yeah.
That is correct. Part B, dielectrics may be placed between the parallel plates of these circuit components to boost their strength. These devices are rated in farads.
You know what?
Something else. Feral.
Conduit.
Incorrect. Georgetown.
PCB, I don't know.
No, I'm thinking capacitor.
That is correct.
Yes. Okay, nice.
And part C, the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor equals the permittivity times what geometric quantity divided by the distance between the plates.
Geometric quantity.
Surface area.
Incorrect.
Volume.
Incorrect. It's just area.
Yeah.
Oh. Good try though.
Please pay attention to the scores. We
All right. House up 23 is in social sciences. The 42 members of this committee may not serve on another committee without party approval. In 2019, this committee's chair, Richard Neal of Massachusetts, formally requested Donald Trump's tax returns. This committee has jurisdiction on unemployment benefits and Medicare. Under U.S. House rules, all bills about taxation must pass through. For 10 points, what committee with jurisdiction over revenue-raising measures?
Frank,
IRS.
Incorrect.
I think we're good. I don't need to listen.
Mr. Bartolomeo.
It is the Ways and Means.
I never knew that anything.
And concept 24 is in literature. This novel opens with a chapter titled A Word of Explanation that depicts a meeting at Warwick Castle. Its title character, who is served by a boy named Clarence, holds the title of the Fox after claiming to cause an eclipse. This novel's protagonist, Hank Morgan, sleeps for over 1,000 years due to a spell cast by Merlin. For 10 points, name the Mark Twain novel in which a man from New England journeys to Camelot.
Stanley,
David Copperfield.
That is incorrect.
Connecticut Yankee and King Arthur's Court.
No.
Joseph,
Holy Grail.
Incorrect. It is a Connecticut Yankee and King Arthur's Court.
Never even.
That is
I've heard that one.
okay, Georgetown 180, Salt Fork 130.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
We're gonna start a whole brand new game code. Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, now we will.
Alright.
Yep.
Huh? Okay. Oh, got stressful.
Do you want to control the board, Mr. Thorpe? Because I've got a P as
You
well.
have your
Probably not.
your charger to your laptop.
Ooh, I actually do have that.
Oh, yay. Cause my phone is upgraded.
This works on your phone?
Yeah. I'm just gonna steal this and plug in my phone.
Thank you. I don't want to weird. My dad's girlfriend had one. I don't like it. Pretty broke.
Oh.
Ooh.
Hey, it worked.
Maybe we're late for the meeting.
Are y'all cold?
We're gonna wait 10 minutes.
Me? No, I'm never
Do it
cold.
on his phone for about
Really?
2.5,
Yep.
and then it's like, okay.
Abby, are you cold?
Hold on.
Adrian, you ask every single match.
Is your hair actually already cold?
No, like I felt it. I felt cold.
Yes, dear.
But I swear,
It was like-
last match it was
What's
just
that
me.
wrong? That makes you dehydrated. You have to eat like snack.
Very sus if you
I
ask
ain't
me.
never gave blood. I gave blood yesterday. Oh.
When's that next match? In 4 minutes.
Ah!
Ah.
My life is just one big ah!
Abby in for Lily. Join the meet. Are they not playing? Okay.
Well, you got that pretty.
Ooh, girl. I'll write up there again.
Doesn't like me.
907646.
Well, the first one had built different.
This is the last one.
Mine were all-
I was the first.
There's no one else in here.
I can't see the thing.
Okay, so
It says it up there.
It's gonna be slow.
907-646.
You're in there, Stan.
I know, but
Stan,
like,
duh.
usually you can scroll down on this website and see it. But
they got that premium.
Everybody has it.
Oh,
You can't. You can only have like 6 people on the non-premium version.
Virgin.
Oh,
Virgin.
oh, there's a limit of 200.
Over this
Oh my god. I would love
Sorry about that.
a game that requires 2.
We did a potty break, so, alright. Georgetown, you only have 4? No, yep, 4?
Who's not in there? Melissa,
Not
Chris,
loading.
Adrian.
It's not loading.
Oh, we're having technical issues.
one of our players is having technical difficulties.
We're working on it.
Okay, no problem. Did you get to see the code?
Yeah, I wrote it on. Yeah, we're good on the code.
We are good on the code.
Okay.
This is
Okay, Milford's about ready to go. There's evidence of your disconnected. Are you up? Are you
Loaded it
sure
out.
you're there?
Open it again. Are you connected to the Wi-Fi?
I mean, they're all,
Oh, there you go.
6 are in the buzz-in, but I had,
Okay, Evan's back.
okay, did you want Seth not in right now, correct?
Yeah, Seth is not in right now.
Okay, just wanted to make sure I had him right.
907-646.
And then once Georgetown's good to go, could you please put your names in the meet chat so I can move that to our score sheet?
No. I need you to unmute yourself.
I am.
Are you talking about the official score sheet? Are you running the official score sheet, Tyler?
I was planning on it, and you want to.
No, that's fine. You can do it. Just you have to make sure that they're the same as the names that are in the other matches. So,
Oh.
because otherwise it won't tally them into the other spreadsheet.
Okay. It shouldn't be any difference on my end, but okay, that's.
You'll know if the names are on, because it'll turn red in the,
Oh.
Station. Following you.
Yeah, you guys are good.
Can you read yourself?
What the heck?
They have a team mask. It's their mascot.
Really?
No, that's a joke.
No, that'd be so cool though.
Adrian's like, why haven't we gone this whole year without a mascot?
Our mascot is Wide Motion.
Our
do
mascot
the names
was
get
like,
entered then?
That is my
Or do you know
question.
how?
Working on it.
Okay, no problem, I just wanna make sure if there's anything I should know. Let me know.
you okay?
There's a thing with my
It's a bug.
It's
neck. It scared the shit.
No, kill it and throw it away.
a box owner, it's fine.
No, it was like climbing on my neck. Maybe that's what the heck it was.
I thought, I was like,
It'll be
well,
all good.
No, I thought it was a spider.
I thought it was a mouse.
Okay. We can do a real quick buzz-in, I mean, it should all work, but we can certainly do that. I'm not gonna do the introductions thing, I'll just, let's have, Milford players buzz in, just to make sure it's still working. Gabe? Taya? Evan?
listen for your name.
Cheyenne? And CJ. Alright, and then Georgetown? Stan? Christopher? Is it Alyssa?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Alyssa.
Abby. Abby, and then there should be one more.
Adrian.
Buzz in.
Oh my gosh.
That's what we're going for.
All right. So if we are all ready to go, here we go. Toss-up number 1 is in math. A law with this adjective in its name, which can be used to easily calculate Legendre symbols, was first proven by Carl Friedrich Gauss and concerns reciprocity. This word before mean refers to the root mean square average. A formula named after this adjective can be derived by completing the square and contains an expression called the discriminant. For 10 points, give this adjective for polynomials of degree, Evan? That is correct.
Wow.
10 points to Milford. Milford, your bonus is in social sciences. To appease this goddess and allow his troops to reach Troy, Agamemnon had to sacrifice his daughter, Iphigenia, for 10 points each. Part A, name this virgin Greek goddess of the hunt who was the twin sister of Apollo. That is correct. Part B, Artemis and Apollo were the children of this goddess who gave birth on the floating island of Delos. Incorrect. Rebound.
Athena.
Incorrect. It is Leto. Part C, this woman's 14 children were killed by Apollo and Artemis after she boasted of her superiority to Leo. Rebound.
No answer.
Niobe. That's 1 part to Milford. Toss-up number 2 is in miscellaneous. The chorus of a Victoria Monet and Ariana Grande song of this name repeats the question, where you been? A firm, Adrian.
Monopoly.
That is correct. 10 to Georgetown.
Dude, I love that.
Georgetown, your bonus is in math. For 10 points each, answer these questions about the Riemann zeta function. Part A, all non-trivial zeros of the zeta function belong to what set of numbers, since they have both real and imaginary components?
Rational numbers?
Rational.
Incorrect. Rebound. Complex is correct. Part B, the Riemann hypothesis holds that all non-trivial zeros of the zeta function have a real component equal to what fraction?
1/2.
That is correct.
Hey.
Part C, proving the Riemann hypothesis was part of what German's list of 23 open problems he presented in 1900, suggesting that 20th century mathematicians should focus on them.
What was the question?
This.
You presented a
Euler.
Incorrect. Rebound.
German mathematician.
Incorrect. It was Hilbert.
I like that name.
1 part Milford, 1 part Georgetown.
Hilbert.
Toss-up number 3 is in literature. This poem claims that there is no love or help for pain in a world that deceptively appears so beautiful and so new. The final stanza of this poem pleads, "Ah, love, let us be true to one another." This poem describes the eternal note of sadness produced as pebbles are flung against the tidal location. It begins with the line, "The sea is calm tonight." For 10 points, name this Matthew Arnold poem set near the English shore. Stan.
The Channel.
Incorrect. Rebound.
It's worth a shot.
Oh, it's a top up. I apologize. Clear buzzers. Here we go. That's time. It is Dover Beach. Toss up 4 is in history. In a speech at American University, this man promoted a strategy of peace over a strategy of annihilation. Ted Sorensen wrote speeches for this president, who praised exploration by saying we should do things not because they are easy, but because they are hard. In West Germany, this president said, "Ich bin ein Berliner," for 10 points. What? Christopher?
Kennedy.
That is correct.
Yay.
Oh, yeah.
And Georgetown.
Space exploration.
We should do things.
Your bonus is in miscellaneous.
I got the Berlin.
This member of the SS organized proceedings of the Holocaust in Eastern Europe for 10 points each. Part A, name this Nazi who was captured and kidnapped from Argentina to Israel in 1960.
Isn't it like the first one captured?
I
Oh,
don't
he
know.
was-
I don't remember.
Wasn't it the Auschwitz guy? Hans Schubert.
Incorrect. Rebound. That is correct.
Eichmann.
Eichmann.
Part B, Ben Kingsley portrays Eichmann in this 2018 movie, which depicts his capture by Mossad agents.
Ben Kingsley. No answer.
Rebound. It is Operation Finale.
Okay.
And part C, this philosopher introduced the phrase banality of evil in a book that criticized the proceedings against Eichmann as a show trial, Eichmann in Jerusalem.
No answer.
Rebound.
I was trying to think of the.
It was Hannah Arendt.
Who's the dude
That was
who's
one
always
part to Milford.
connecting dudes with their mothers? Freud, yeah.
Toss-up number 5 is in social sciences. This philosopher mused that the whole face of the earth would have been altered if Cleopatra's nose had been shorter. This supporter of the Port Royal Jansenists wrote the posthumously published Pensée, which includes an argument suggesting that one could gain eternal life while losing relatively little. For 10 points, what French philosopher argued that it is rational to believe in God in his namesake wager? That's time. It was Pascal.
Pascal's wager.
Pascal's German.
Toss up number 6 is in literature. This author described an event that occurs a ribbon at a time in the poem I'll Tell You How the Sun Rose, whose first line deviates slightly from the common meter used in many of this author's poems. This poet's fascicle 13 includes "There's a certain slant of light" and "Hope is the thing with feathers." A poem by this author describes how death kindly stopped for her. For 10 points, name this reclusive Belle of Amherst. Evan? Incorrect. Rebound? Oh, I didn't clear, sorry.
Her.
Rebound? Alyssa?
Bronte.
Incorrect, it was Dickinson.
Emily Dickinson.
Oh!
Because I could not stop for Dad, and kindly stop for me.
Toss up 7 is
Wrong,
in
Emily.
science. The protein lead hemoglobin carries oxygen to the organisms that perform this process. This process is performed by symbiotic bacteria called rhizobia in the root nodules of legume plants. Hydrogen gas is reacted in this biological analog of the Haber process. For 10 points, name this biological process in which the most abundant gas in the atmosphere is converted into ammonia. Stan.
Oh.
Say it again.
Photosynthesis.
Incorrect.
Yeah, I'm feeling both.
Sorry. Rebound. Cheyenne.
Oxygen?
Incorrect. It is called nitrogen fixation.
Oh yeah.
I probably had it in there.
Toss up number 8 is in math. In the Unix bash shell, a command ending with this symbol is executed in the background. It also precedes HTML entity references, such as the NBSP semicolon symbol for a non-breaking space. In C, this character can be a binary operator that performs bitwise conjunction, or a unary operator that takes the address of a variable. For 10 points, name this symbol that in many languages is doubled to form the logical AND operator. CJ.
Equal sign.
Incorrect. Rebound. Scan.
The period?
Incorrect. It's the ampersand. Ampersand.
Period was too simple.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, well, half the time the sentence is too simple to begin with. So.
Bitly.
Toss up number 9 is in history. During this war, the president of General Electric, Charles Wilson, was named head of the Office of Defense Mobilization. After the death of Walton Walker in this war, Matthew Ridgway replaced him. Later, Ridgway replaced Douglas MacArthur as the commander of UN forces in this war. Stan.
World War II.
Incorrect. I will continue.
Is it World War I?
Dwight Eisenhower won his first presidential election in 1952 during, for 10 points, what war fought on an Asian peninsula? Cheyenne?
Vietnam War.
Incorrect. It was the Korean War.
Korean War.
Well,
At least they didn't get
They
it.
didn't get it.
That's What was the ampersand question?
Toss up number 10 is in fine arts.
It was the answer. Was
This piece was written as a favor to Nikolai Rubinstein for an exhibition of exceptional new things. This composition begins with 22 bars of music for 2 solo violas and 4 solo cellos. The end of this piece, which features a quadruple forte quotation of God Save the Tsar, calls for 16 canon. For 10 points, name this commemoration of a Russian victory over Napoleon, an overture by Peter Ilyich Tchaikovsky. Christopher.
1812 overture.
That is correct.
Yep.
That is 10 to
I was
Georgetown.
thinking that when they said
Georgetown, your bonus is in history. Had this king married American divorcee Wallace Simpson while still on the throne, Stanley Baldwin's government would likely have resigned. For 10 points each. Part A. Name this British king who abdicated in 1936, less than 1 year into his reign.
Henry.
I don't remember.
William Henry. Trying to think of. William.
William.
Incorrect. Rebound.
Edward VIII. Haven't you people watched The Crown?
No.
Incorrect. It was Edward VIII. Part B. Edward had assumed the throne on the death of his father, the 5th English king of this name. Edward's successor and younger brother also took this regnal name.
Probably like William or Harry.
Henry?
Incorrect. Rebound.
George. Okay.
Correct.
Is that your answer, or was that discussion? George is correct.
What's their answer now?
Sorry, it was said lightly. I wasn't sure of the confidence there. Okay. Part C. After stepping down, Edward was made Duke of this place. Under George V, the royal family changed their name from Saxe-Coburg-Gotha to this more English name?
Duke of what?
I was gonna say Duke of Wellington, but we'll go with it. Wellington.
Incorrect. Rebound.
Sussex.
I hate you all. Duke of Windsor.
Oh, okay.
No,
That's
I
time.
watched The
It's
Crown.
Windsor.
Well,
That was one part to Milford.
My mom and dad watched it.
Toss up number 11 is in social sciences.
Lowest scoring game.
In a Greek myth, the egg from which the world hatched was incubated by one of these animals named Ophion. After eating one of these animals, Asclepius gained secret knowledge when one licked his ears. 2 of these animals were strangled by their intended victim after Hera sent them to kill the infant Heracles. A monster slain by Perseus had Cheyenne.
Yep.
That is correct. 10 to Milford.
I buzzed interrupt.
Milford, your bonus is in fine arts. The
I thought you said
Ase
one.
Beef, second movement of this composer's F major string quartet begins with all 4 musicians playing pizzicato for 10 points each. Part A, name this composer who depicted the Valley of Bells in the final movement of his piano suite, Miroir.
Is that a sausage or pepperoni pizza?
Frankfurter.
Incorrect. Rebound.
DiGiorno.
Incorrect. It was Ravel. Part B, Ravel used a constant snare drum, ostinato, in this piece based on a Spanish dance, which he described as a very long crescendo.
The Macarena.
The Macarena. Oh my god.
No, this is ours.
That's time. Rebound. Say, I don't think that is correct. It's Bolero.
She didn't say anything.
Part C, Ravel argued with this Italian conductor over the proper tempo for Bolero. This conductor was the first head of the NBC Symphony Orchestra.
John Philip Sosa.
Was that NBC? So I assume that's your call.
That's time. Rebound.
Salsa.
Incorrect. His name was Arturo Toscanini. No parts. Last before the half, toss up 12 is in math. When this word comes before rotation, it means a rotation followed by an inversion. If A is a set, then this word identifies what kind of subset A is of itself. This word can mean an integral that has an asymptote between its bounds or that has infinite bounds. For 10 points, give this word starting with I that can mean a Cheyenne.
Inverse.
Incorrect. I'll finish. That can mean a fraction whose numerator is greater than the denominator. Stan.
Improper.
That is correct. Head to Georgetown. Georgetown, your bonus is in science. This quantity is low for freshwater and high for seawater for 10 points each. Part A, name this measure of the amount of dissolved compounds such as sodium chloride.
Salinity.
That is correct.
Saltiness.
Part B, fresh water and seawater mix to form brackish water in this type of enclosed body, whose name comes from the Latin for tide.
Kind of enclosed body.
A bay?
Actually, do try they.
Bay.
Incorrect. Rebound.
Yeah, no.
Incorrect. It's called an estuary.
You're a smart man.
Part C, the word salt, followed by the name of this tool, refers to a structure formed by seawater invading an estuary. Accretionary prisms are sometimes named for this tool.
Stationary prisons.
Assault.
Assault.
Like,
Assault wall? It's not a torture.
That's time. Rebound.
Assault hammer? What?
Assault.
Incorrect. It's called a wedge.
Oh, assault.
One part to Georgetown, and that is the half. Can we get a score check at the half,
50,
please?
60.
I have 60 and 60.
Okay.
Wait, 60, 60?
Somewhere, yeah.
Well, that
so
makes me
2
happy.
minutes.
Yeesh.
2 minutes.
Yeah, anybody got paid?
I do, but.
Is anyone else? Oh. No,
This happens every week.
Adrian, literally bring a coat or put what
What?
you have
I
on
can't-
your jacket.
I don't like the.
Yeah,
No, but like nobody
like,
else feels cold.
Yeah, but your jacket.
I don't know.
What's going on?
I've
Ghost?
got one,
Ghost
two,
are
three,
real.
4 layers on.
No, ghosts
That's
are real.
Hold it.
It's not
From
around
it.
anyone else but me.
Adrian, you have a jacket. Yeah, put it on.
Ghosts are
But that's not the problem. No one else feels
Shut
there's
up.
something
I
there.
literally just said I was cold. You're just ignoring me. Because you want to believe putting us fake.
Ghosts are real.
Woman.
It's not true.
Your redhead doesn't count as too cold.
Hey, that's rude.
The air becomes
Oh,
cold
guys,
when
who's
you
gonna
walk
tell me
in.
about the conspiracy theory?
No.
Oh.
Well, we're fine.
Conspiracy theories are dumb.
I love conspiracy theories.
I like
Depending
that.
It's
on
a.
what they're about.
You guys
You're-
are rude.
My brother had a really good point
Are
about
we ordering something for dinner?
Why not?
I don't know. It's up to you.
Brownie noodles?
You're good?
No.
I personally do not want anything because
That's fine. We don't have to.
You're clammy.
Yeah.
You're clammy.
I can just send y'all home after.
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot better tonight than I was last week.
Melissa's a clam. Hoping you'd be dry.
Yeah.
So Anthony has to get 10 as of right now to beat me. 10 over the night, which is not hard for him, but
What team is Cooper on?
Mr. Report.
Oh, is that MHS? I can't apparently look at everything. Sorry.
Do you want to use that conspiracy theory?
Sounds like right
Maybe
there.
later.
Conspiracies.
No, it's like legit. It's like legit. No, like it makes a lot of sense.
well, if it's so legit, it wouldn't just be a theory. It would.
Because you can't prove it.
Then
But it makes a lot of sense.
I know. This is my desk.
Really must have had a poop.
And then Georgetown, did you have any subs?
No, we're good.
We're good to go.
Okay,
I can't be adjusted.
give me just a second.
We have macaroni.
Why you look at me?
Do you want a pillow for your butt?
Not anymore.
Do you want a butt pillow?
No, I'm. No.
Oh.
All right, so
Let's bring her back.
I think we're all good to go. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Milford, and
what
1,
was
2,
this?
3, 4, 5 for Georgetown. Okay, all right, here we go. Toss up number 13 is in, let's get to that.
I got someone-
Toss up 13 is in science. This letter denotes the orbitals whose electrons are responsible for the inert pair effect seen in some atoms. Electrons in this type of orbital are most susceptible to relativistic effects because they are the ones most likely to be near the nucleus. All orbitals denoted by this letter exhibit spherical symmetry. Every electron shell begins with, for 10 points, what type of orbital that is followed by p orbitals. Stan?
V.
Incorrect. Rebound?
Yes. They're inert. They stop.
That's time. Oh, I apologize. Was anybody trying to buzz?
Yes.
I apologize. Go ahead. Seth, sorry. Incorrect. They're called s orbitals. S as in Sally.
V as in valence.
Sorry about that, guys. All right, toss up 14 is in history. This man's mother built the Bradalid church after he encouraged her to adopt Christianity. This man supposedly used the name Markland to describe the wooded terrain of Labrador. An abundance of grapes may have inspired the name that this son of Eric the Red gave to a region he found after sailing west from Greenland around AD 999. Vinland was settled by, for 10 points, what Stan?
Leaf.
Say it again.
Leaf.
Yes, sorry, I just couldn't hear the F on there. I got it. All right.
Erickson.
Georgetown, 10 points. Your bonus is in social sciences. Due to a 1757 decree, a ladder placed on this building's facade has never been formally removed, for 10 points each. Part A, name this church which is said to contain the site of Jesus' crucifixion and the tomb where he was buried.
The Holy Church.
I
The
don't,
holiest church.
I don't even know.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Incorrect. Rebound.
It sounded right.
Well,
Get
burn down
Bible,
now.
fool.
Get Bible!
Your last match.
That's time. It's called Church of the Holy Sepulchre.
Church of the Holy Sepulchre.
Part B, the latter is kept in place as part of an understanding about the rights to the church and other holy sites, which is known by this Latin phrase for a state of affairs.
Laissez-faire.
No.
Parthenon. It's definitely Parthenon. What y'all on?
Rebound.
Say.
Parthenon's in Rome. It's pretty cool.
It's called status quo.
Oh, I was trying to
See,
think of it.
the church is in the old portion of the city. Its other religious sites included the Western Wall and Dome of the Rock.
Jerusalem.
That is correct. 1 part to Georgetown. Toss-up 15 is in literature.
Now they can get Bible.
This author wrote a novel in which a singer who vanishes during an earthquake, Vina Apsara, is loved by the rock star Ormus. This author of The Ground Beneath Her Feet retold the life of a Mahound or Muhammad in a novel in which the explosion of a plane does not kill Saladin Chamcha and Gabriel Farishta. Ayatollah Khomeini proclaimed a fatwa against, for 10 points, what author of the Satanic Verses?
This isn't Bible, this is Satan.
You would know a lot about that.
Christopher?
Crowley?
Incorrect. Rebound?
She made the Satanic Bible, that's what I was referring to.
Yeah, it's Rushdie.
I wasn't sure, so I used
At the
the
time,
word Satanic.
It's Rushdie. Salman Rushdie.
I was thinking of supernatural.
Beelzebub.
Toss-up 16 is in social sciences. According to legend, 4 of these people visited a Pardes, or orchard of divine knowledge, but only one returned unharmed. One of these people said, go and... Adrian.
I knew it was an accident. Oh my god.
Sorry.
Jess.
She buzzed in by accident.
Okay. Incorrect. I'll continue. One of these people said, go and learn after reciting the golden rule on one leg. Groups of these people include Tanaim and Amoraim. Akiba and Hillel were 2 of these people who used midrash to extend halakha law. For 10 points, the Talmud records the opinions of what Jewish religious leaders?
Jewish religious leaders.
Rabbis, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Caleb? Prophet. What'd you say? Prophet. Incorrect. They're called rabbis.
What do you know?
All right, toss-up 17 is in fine arts. A painting by this artist depicts a god leaping from a chariot pulled by 2 cheetahs toward a recoiling woman in a blue robe. Another of his works shows Cupid reaching into a fountain between a clothed and a nude woman. This painter of Bacchus and Ariadne and sacred and profane love created a work in which a small dog curls up at the feet of the title nude goddess. For 10 points, name this artist of Venus of Urbino. Adrian,
Courbet.
incorrect.
I'm thinking it's one of the turtles, but I don't know.
Oh, crap, I do it every time. Sorry. Caleb? Raphael? Incorrect. It was Titian.
That doesn't sound Italian.
Yeah.
Well, answer now, Gabe.
Toss-up 18 is in literature. This author described the rise and slow relapse of the long multitudinous rain in his poem, Monotone. The speaker of another poem by this man acknowledges that it is true, I have seen the gunmen kill and go free to kill again. This author wrote a poem about a type of weather that comes on little cat feet, and a poem about his city he called the Hog Butcher for the World. For 10 points, name this poet of Fog and Chicago. Caleb?
Only count down odd numbers.
Incorrect. Rebound? That's time. It was Sandberg.
There you
Okay. Toss-up 19 is in science. Lucian Beatty invented a circular example of these devices that uses an aneroid cell. These devices give a height reading that is multiplied by density and gravitational acceleration to find the quantity of interest. In 1643, an Italian created the first of these devices by inverting a meter-long tube into a basin of mercury. Stan? I need an answer.
In density reader.
Incorrect. I'll finish. Evangelista Torricelli invented, for 10 points, what devices that measure atmospheric pressure?
Barometer. Why did I just not come up with it?
Seth? That is correct. 10 to Milford. Milford, your bonus is in social sciences. Aristotle suggested that ether should be identified as the fifth of these concepts. For 10 point each. Part A, name this set of 4 concepts that includes fire, water, earth, and air.
Elements.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If they don't get it.
Elements.
Correct. Part B, this pre-Socratic philosopher originated the idea of the 4 elements. According to legend, he died by throwing himself into Mount Etna.
Nice.
Plato, anybody?
Rebound?
Plato?
Incorrect, it was Empedocles. Part C, Empedocles argued that strife and this other force help bring together and separate the 4 elements. The ancient Greeks differentiated this English language concept into such forms as philia and agape.
Love. It's love. Can you feel?
Rebound?
Love.
Love is correct.
Agape. Love. That's the.
That was 1 part to Milford and 1 part to Georgetown.
Never read that before.
Never read the Bible.
Toss up 20 is in math.
Get my book.
In 2014, the Washington Post published an article pointing out that one of this company's most popular products has barely changed in over 15 years and costs over $100, despite costing only about $20 to make. This company sponsors the Teachers Teaching with Technology group and works with math textbook writers to push their products. for 10 points. Name, Adrian,
McGraw-Hill?
incorrect.
I did not.
I'll finish.
Again.
Name this company that makes the Inspire and TI-84 graphing calculators.
Oh.
I
Gabe,
hate this one.
that is correct.
Don't touch
Ten
your
to
phone unless
Milford.
it doesn't in.
Milford, your bonus is in fine arts. For 10 points each, answer the following about operas set in Egypt. Part A, this captured Ethiopian princess titles a Giuseppe Verdi opera in which she is buried alive with Radames.
No answer.
Rebound,
It's what?
Talk about, but no, I don't know what it is.
that's time. It's Aida.
Okay.
Part B, the pharaoh Akhenaten titles the third part of this minimalist composer's portrait trilogy, whose first part is Einstein on the Beach.
King Tut.
Incorrect. Rebound.
Schubert?
That's time. It's Philip Glass.
Oh.
Just had to have Glass. Part C, this operatic character threatens to disown her daughter if she does not kill a high priest of Isis and Osiris, named Sarastro, in the aria Der Pula Raken.
Cleopatra.
Incorrect. Rebound.
Pandora.
Incorrect. It's called Queen of the Night. It's from Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's The Magic Flute. I don't know why they needed to tell us that, but they did. No bonus. Toss-up 21 is in history. This dynasty won the Battle of Saishi after its former ally refused to cede the 16 prefectures and it was attacked by forces of Jurchen ethnicity. This dynasty's
Jurchen.
capital of Kaifeng was besieged during a war with the Jin to its north. This dynasty's southern phase ended with its conquest by the Mongols. Paper money and gunpowder were invented under, for 10 points, what Chinese dynasty in power from 960 to 1279. Caleb,
The Ming Dynasty?
incorrect. Rebound. Christopher,
The King Dynasty?
incorrect. It's called Song, or you could have said Sung.
I was
Song
it's Han or
Dynasty.
Wu. I couldn't remember which one. I
Yeah.
would have said.
The one after this one's the Ming Dynasty.
Toss up 22 is in social sciences. This complex contains Fritz Koenig's dented, unrestored sculpture, The Sphere. A pear tree nicknamed the Survivor Tree stands at this complex, which was the site of the Tribute in Light. A museum here includes the last column, a steel pillar painted with the numbers of police and fire departments. The tallest building in the US is part of, for 10 points, what Manhattan complex rebuilt after a 2001 Cooper.
Twin Towers.
Prompt.
Oh.
World Trade. Forgot this was busy.
I'm gonna have to say incorrect. Rebound.
Clear.
Clear.
I'm sorry. Stan.
The World Trade Center.
Yes. I did not forget to do this in the last meet I had.
That's okay.
Sorry, Georgetown, correct for 10 points. Because at World Trade Center, WTC, one World Trade Center, 9/11 Memorial, but I had to prompt on Liberty Park, Tribute and Light, Twin Towers, or Ground Zero. I had to prompt on those. All right, Georgetown, your bonus is in history. In 1939, the German cruiser Admiral Graf Spee was scuttled in this country's capital. for 10 points each. Part A, Italian General Giuseppe Garibaldi took part in what country's civil war, which pitted conservative Blancos against liberal Colorados?
Spain or France?
Try Spain.
Spain?
Incorrect. Rebound.
Maybe it's Portugal.
It might.
It's Iberia somewhere. It's Portugal or Spain.
That's time. It's Uruguay. Uruguay.
Uruguay.
Oh,
I didn't know
it's a
there
South
was a
American
civil war
country.
I didn't either.
Part B,
Spain.
the Uruguayan Civil War partly prompted this later war, during which Francisco Solano Lopez's country lost over half its male population.
I don't know.
Did it ask for a country?
Yeah. No, this war.
Oh.
The French and Indian War. I don't know.
Incorrect. Rebound.
Brazil.
Incorrect. It was called the War of the Triple Alliance.
That sounds familiar, but I can't.
Part C, commanders of the Triple Alliance included Pedro II, the emperor of this country that declared independence from Portugal in 1822.
Cuba.
Cuba, yeah. Cuba? Wait, no.
Incorrect.
That was
Rebound.
1900, wasn't it?
Brazil.
That is correct.
Brazil.
Whatever.
Milford, 10
All down to
points.
Portugal at one point.
Just for a score check, both teams are tied at 100.
Oh my.
Correct.
Yep.
All right, last two, here we go. Toss up 23 is in fine arts. This artist adapted the arched pose of his torso of Adele into the female character in his piece depicting a pair of lovers called Eternal Springtime. The mature age reflects Camille Claudel's break with this man who was her teacher and lover. This man's The Gates of Hell was originally going to include a sculpture of a seated man resting his chin on his hand. For 10 points, name this French sculptor of The Thinker. Adrian,
Rodin.
Yes.
that is correct.
I couldn't
Talked about
remember.
Sculptures today in class.
As soon as you said the Gates of Hell, I'm like, what? It's the dude that did the
10
thing.
points to Georgetown. Your bonus is in literature.
So whole other question.
This poem's title character feels half sick of shadows as she uses a mirror to observe the world. For 10 points each. Part A, the mirror cracks from side to side after the title woman looks out of her window in what 19th century ballad?
Say the Ballad of Mona Lisa.
The Ballad of Mona Lisa.
Incorrect. Rebound.
Girl of the Year.
Incorrect. It's called The Lady of Shalott.
Okay. I've heard of it, but.
Part B, this English author wrote The Lady of Shalott. The early death of his friend Arthur Henry Hallam inspired this man to write the poem In Memoriam AHH.
In Memoriam AAH.
That's time. Rebound.
Christopher Marlowe, but I don't know.
Incorrect. It was Lord Tennyson.
Ah.
Alfred Lord Tennyson.
And part C, in Tennyson's poem, the Lady of Shalott is cursed after looking out the window at this Arthurian knight, the lover of Queen Guinevere.
Oh.
King Arthur.
Lancelot.
That is correct. 10 points, 1 part to Georgetown.
That's there.
No, the captain was the one who spoke.
I'm sorry?
No, my students were challenging the answer, but I didn't see any reason to challenge the answer.
Got it. All right, toss up 24 is in science. The ultra-relativistic hot form of this substance cannot by itself explain structure formation. Vera Rubin found strong evidence for this substance by observing flat galaxy rotation curves, which imply that most of a galaxy's mass consists of this substance. Weakly interacting massive particles, or WIMPs, are called a possible form of, for 10 points, what hypothetical substance named for the fact it doesn't interact with. Stan?
Dark matter.
That is correct.
I was thinking it the whole time, but I was like, this is too simple.
Bonuses in math. The squeeze theorem helps prove this kind of value for 10 points each. Part A, give this term for a value that a function's output approaches but may not equal when the input approaches a particular value.
Asymptote.
Asymptote.
Incorrect. Rebound.
Limit.
Oh.
That is correct.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
Part B, this operation on a function f can be defined as the limit as h approaches 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. Give an answer with words, not symbols.
What?
We were supposed to solve.
Huh?
You have to find the limit.
Finding the limit.
Incorrect. Rebound.
The slope of the function.
Incorrect. It's called the derivative.
We're
It says
You
first derivative of f with respect to x, but all you needed was a derivative. And part C, this French mathematician gave the first rigorous definition of limits using the symbols delta and epsilon in his text, Cours d'analyse.
French mathematician.
Oh.
What did you do?
You just want.
Did you close out of the meat? Perfect.
You weren't anywhere near the hang up button.
I wasn't even near it.
I don't know.
How the heck did that happen? She's probably like,
We're not
Georgetown.
asking to join.
Georgetown.
Can you send him a message?
Do you remember, it was, which coach was that?
Miss Fritz.
It was Fritz?
Fritz. Yeah.
Like Miss Frizzle.
You weren't anywhere near. I saw you hovering over the unmute.
We won.
Yeah. How
Yeah,
the
that's
heck
all
did
that
that
really
happen?
matters.
Hey, welcome back.
There we go.
I tried to unmute and accidentally hit hang up or something.
It happens.
I was gonna have a joke answer anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, the other team didn't know either. I went ahead and just asked them. It was Cauchy. Cauchy,
Never
Cauchy.
even heard
So that
of
was 1 part to Milford. So we have a final score then of 140 to 100.
I have 130, 110.
Sorry, yeah.
I had Milford 110 and
Yeah.
Georgetown 130.
That's
Yeah,
what,
130 and sorry.
that is also what we have.
Okay. So nice match, everyone.
Thank you.
Woo! Woo! Let's heckin' go. Anthony Jordan, you have to have 13 points tonight to beat me.
I got 2 toss-ups, yay. Good job, everyone.
Okay, give her the live on.
You got 8 in his first
I
round.
did my quarantine. She's good.
I got what?
You got 8 in his first round.
What? How many did you get in the second?
I don't know. I don't know if they've done it yet.
How many did I get? 10 overall?
So something I do instead of having to give a new code every time is I just remove all players and that just resets everyone. So the game code will be the same.
Oh, we are still live. Yay, we won that one too, so we won both. What was it, 130 to 110?
I need you to find it.
Okay.
Yay.